pack maker. Forgot this. There we go. What's up somewhere in Wisconsin? Evening, fellas. What up, MK Show? What's up, Double S Outdoors? Got them trickling in here. What up, Robert? So, guys, I'm doing live on YouTube and live on Instagram. So, if you guys haven't, checked out my Instagram, be sure to head over there and take a look. And if you guys on Instagram haven't checked out my YouTube, then swing over to the YouTube where we got the majority of the people, and go ahead and check that out as well. I'm sure Chief misses playing with you. No video. Try refreshing somewhere in Wisconsin. I got video on my end. If you guys aren't getting video over on YouTube, then go ahead and refresh. What's up, Instagram? Glad to see you guys there. Let's see who we got in here. What up, Simpson? Nice. All right, guys. So first things first. Unfortunately, my guest for tonight is MIA. Emailed him 2 days ago. Messaged him on Instagram the day after that. And I know he was going on a conservation hunt, so maybe that's where he's at. But unfortunately, just me tonight. So we're still going to make the stream happen, guys. So I know a lot of you guys were looking forward to hearing from Louisiana Outdoors Unlimited, but that's not his name. Louisiana Outdoors. I think, or Louisiana Wetlands, sorry guys. But I'll try to reschedule, try to get him back on here sometime in the future. So I'm sure he's just out there hunting and, things happen. So what up, Red Roof? Glad to see you here again. Nice, snow goose hunt. What state you're going to? 1,000 still here. That's, yeah, 18 birds, that's a lot. What up, Brad? I'm from northern Indiana. What's up, Yo Kimmy? So guys, just so you know, I said that a little earlier. I'm live on Instagram and I'm live on YouTube tonight, trying to, get some cross going on there. So. And she waved. So. All right. So anyways, let's go ahead and we'll play the intro and we'll go live. Well, first, a little bit of service announcement. Just thanks everybody for subscribing. Like I said the last time, super pumped to be over the 1K limit for the YouTube partner plan. So got there, guys. Appreciate every one of you guys. Couldn't have done it without you, and super pumped. But yeah, so it's just gonna be me tonight, and hopefully we can, talk about some things on the channel that I'm planning for the future, and I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about my story. So, anyways, I'm going to play the intro so I can start recording the podcast.
Getting hard, hunting smart, and having a fun time while doing it. And shooting limits, well, that's just the icing on the cake. I revel in the journey just as much as the successes it brings. From ducks to dogs to decoys and guns, we'll be talking tactics, strategies, and what it takes to get the job done. Load up and take aim. This is the Duck Gun Podcast. On today's episode, we'll be talking about the origins of Duck Gun Chronicles.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining me again on another episode of the Duck Gun Podcast. And today, episode 6, by myself, flying solo. So we're going to go ahead and discuss how I got into duck hunting. So I guess best way to start this story is at the beginning. So let's start way at the beginning. So when I was in my youth, very young, I fished all the time. Got into fishing very early. My dad would take me, and I'd fish all the time. So just mostly bass fishing in ponds. And I grew up in suburban America. We lived in a neighborhood, houses all in a row. Everybody mowed their lawn, and you can see your neighbor's house right there, neighbor behind you, neighbor on the other side. So I'm sure this probably resonates with a lot of people in America today, because it's not, how it used to. Used to be, everybody living in more rural areas, but, cities and neighborhoods are just commonplace in America nowadays. So anyways, grew up that way, and I would go down to the neighborhood pond and fish all the time. So, that was my only access to the outdoors. Besides that, in the neighborhood, played with neighborhood kids. But fast forward, and about the age of, I'm going to say like 11 to 13, somewhere in there, my grandpa took me bird hunting. And, my grandpa was a huge influence on me being an outdoorsman. He took me fishing when I was a kid. He'd give me all kinds of fishing supplies, fishing poles, and fishing lures. And my favorite worm was called the Touchdown. Probably most people haven't heard of it, but awesome. Just catch tons of huge bass on it. And anyways, so he gave me my first shotgun when we went bird hunting. So first shotgun I got it right here. Sure you guys have seen shotguns like this. Little single shot. And he'd take me, and he'd have 4 bird dogs, English pointers, and we'd go out there, and pretty much I'd shoot my gun, never hit anything, and watch my grandpa just shooting doubles and triples all day. So, that's my first experience hunting, was hunting with grandpa. And we actually lived about 4 hours away from my grandpa growing up, so I didn't do it all the time. But whenever I did it, it was a huge highlight, something really awesome, just to be able to go out there and hunt with, the guys, and be with my grandpa and see all the dogs working. And, it's just a really awesome experience to be able to see that. So, anyways, losing my train of thought here. This is my first shotgun. And funny story, I don't think I ever actually shot a bird with it. And we'd go up there, 4-hour trip, every Thanksgiving. And it was probably about a 3 to 4 year span where we'd go hunting with grandpa. Me and my dad, my grandpa, my uncle, one of his friends, Cobbler, and he'd bring his dog as well. So we'd usually have like 5 dogs out there, and some years we got into them, some years we got into more. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I actually never even shot a quail. We were quail hunting. So that's disappointing, but I still enjoyed it, and it really got me excited for the outdoors when I was a kid. But as things go, my grandpa got older, and he wasn't able to hunt. So that pretty much ended my hunting time from probably before I got into high school. I stopped hunting because the only time I ever hunted was with grandpa. But I kept fishing on and off. But then, social life in high school and college, and I met my wife, And then from there, full-time job, working the 9 to 5, and then working overtime after that, soul-crushing hours. And yeah. So at that point, I really kind of realized like something was missing. Something about just living in like neighborhoods and working the 9 to 5. You're in a cubicle all day. Like I just don't think we're created to live like that. It's just too tasking on the mentality of a human. So yeah. So next thing I got from my grandpa was this shotgun, and this is more of a hunting shotgun, and it's probably my most prized possession. A sweet old A5 that he would hunt quail and pheasant with, and he couldn't use it anymore, so he passed it down to me, and I took it out shooting sporting clays, and had an awesome time with that, and having this shotgun, is one of the other things that pushed me towards hunting. So, a few things came together. I was just feeling like I needed to do something different than the way life was going. And so I started talking to one of my friends who's a big-time hunter. His name's actually Hunter, and you guys have probably seen him in my videos. And I started talking to him about hunting, kept asking questions about it, and I'm like, hey man, like, I really want to try this out. So, and along with that, at the same time, my wife actually bought me a dog. She bought me Chief. So I had this Labrador Retriever. I had this desire to do some outdoor activities such as hunting, and from that combined, I kind of pushed towards hunting. And so I got on the internet and I was researching YouTube videos, and the first thing that came up at the time was freelance duck hunting. So I'm sure everybody on here knows freelance. We had him on here a couple weeks ago, and so I researched all these videos, watching duck hunting, and listened to another thing that really pushed me towards hunting was when I researched podcasts and found the HP Outdoors podcast. So all those things combined, and talking to my friend, I decided that I was gonna go for duck hunting. So that was actually 2 seasons ago. So yeah, so I'm actually relatively new to duck hunting. So the origins of me duck hunting is 2 years ago, and at that point, I literally was recording videos from the first time I hunt, which I think is probably unique. So, anyways, guys, so I started duck hunting. And I mean, honestly, it changed my life, because I mean, that's literally all I do and all I think about outside of my family, as far as hobbies go. And yeah, it's been great. So to start off the duck hunting, I actually went 11 times. I actually counted 11 times, and I got skunked 11 times in a row because I didn't know what I was doing at all. But I was researching, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube, trying to do the best I could. And I mean, it's rough when you get out there and you don't know exactly what you're doing, how to hunt. So yeah, eventually I ended up shooting my first duck and my first goose on the same hunt. I killed a duck and a goose, and I think it was hunt number 11 or hunt number 12, somewhere in there on the first season. And yeah, so it's crazy, and from there, I was just addicted, and I kept hunting, and I loved it, and I still do to this day, Nothing better than duck hunting. So yeah, and here we are, the second season of duck hunting, and it's just been crazy, just the amount of things you can learn from resources like podcast and YouTube, and yeah. So pretty much that's my origins of duck hunting. Kind of started out when I was young, being an outdoorsman, going to the current way that society is, where you're just not outdoors at all and it's soul crushing, to living the outdoor lifestyle, and it's great. So yeah, pretty much that's my story. So now you guys know. So another thing, a little bit about me, that I guess you guys probably don't know at all, is I actually have a wife, and I had my first kid this year. So super blessed, super pumped about that. And yeah. So now where to go from here? All right, guys. So now you guys know a little bit about me. So, yeah. Got a little bit of lull in the action now. All right, guys. So now I got a few questions for you guys who are still in the chat. So it looks like we got some Indiana guys in here still talking about where they hunt. That's pretty cool. What up, Brooks? Brooks Emery? Red Roof? Brad, you still in here, guys? So do you guys have any questions for me? Let's just jump to the Q&A section. Usually a little bit of delay in here. What's going on, guys? All right, so a little bit of question. All right, so I got an Instagram question from HTR Innovations, also known as Hunter, and he wants to know what is the most memorable hunt so far. And that's a difficult one. That's a difficult one. So I think that most memorable. Well, most memorable might be the first ducks I've got, because the first time I killed a duck, it just seemed kind of surreal, you know, after going 11 times in a row not getting anything, and I shot at this duck and it literally landed at my feet, and I didn't have that part on film, unfortunately, but that was pretty memorable. And then you know, besides that, probably the first time that me and Hunter actually got into ducks, I mean, we shot them up, and we had hundreds of ducks landing right all around us before first shooting light. And before that, I didn't even know that was a thing that was going to happen when I duck hunted. You know, it was like something you'd see on TV, and it was just crazy the amount of ducks we had all around us, and then we blasted them, and it was a great hunt. Another YouTube question I got from Sam Shields. Thanks for joining us, Sam. Favorite gun you've hunted with so far? So I've hunted with an old Browning A5, a new Wicked Wings Browning A5. That single shot, and a Satori over under. And my favorite is the Browning A5s. Love shooting Browning A5s. They just feel good. It's a great gun when you mount it and aim with it. Just feels how a gun should feel. And yeah, definitely that's my favorite gun. Now between the old and new, it's really hard to say. The old one's so much fun to shoot, but that newer Wicked Wings is 12 gauge. You can shoot 3.5-inch shells. I really think you're more lethal with it. And what was the hunting podcast you mentioned earlier? It's HP Waterfowl, and it's probably the premier waterfowl podcast in iTunes for sure. And if you're looking to see more content, they actually just started posting weekly again, and I'm a huge fan of theirs. So yeah, you get some good stuff in there for sure. And while we're talking about iTunes, I actually post this podcast. I take the recording from this podcast and post it up onto iTunes. Probably not a lot of guys know that, but if you do, check me out. Be sure to give me that 5-star review. It helps with how they show you or rank you. So when you come up and search, people search duck hunting, then I'll come up higher than some other people if I get more ratings. So there's actually not a lot of duck hunting podcasts out there, so it's not like a lot of competition. But it'll help me out, so... let's see. I saw some question. How do you approach hunting the river? from Brad. Brad, we actually did a whole podcast on that 2 episodes ago with freelance duck hunting. But I'll just give you a brief summary. I like to get on the river and late season focus on the river and focus on spots you can get off the river, like small streams and pools and stuff, and try to get away from a lot of the other hunters because it's no fun to be fighting over ducks on public land on a river. And Peter asked, at what age did you start hunting, and who introduced you to waterfowl hunting or hunting in general? So I started out, the first time I hunted, I think I was about 11. My grandpa introduced me to quail hunting, and then from there I took a big break just because I didn't have anyone to take me. My dad's not a big hunter. He's more of a fly fisher, fly angler. I don't know what the proper term is for that, and I am as well. But I got back into it because of my grandpa giving me a gun, so it gave me that opportunity to do it. I got a dog, and my friend also helped me get into it again, for waterfowling the first time. And that was just a couple years ago, and probably one of the best things in my life. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it. I'm assuming you mean subbed on iTunes. Appreciate it, man. Let's see. All right, and got another question on Instagram. Oh, how do you go back on these? All right, so favorite duck and goose recipe for that you've made or recommend, and that's from Hunter as well. Favorite recipe for goose is taking it to a butcher and getting it made into summer sausage. If you don't have a butcher that does that, then the next best for goose is you take it, you boil it, or you slow cook it all day until it gets tender, and you shred it up how you would pulled pork, and cook it with barbecue, and then anything you'd have with barbecue as far as like sandwiches or just eating it plain. That's the best for goose. And for duck, duck fajitas are amazing. Just cut it up in cubes. Just cook it like you would chicken fajita. I get Old El Paso packets of seasoning. Put those in there. You saute your onions and peppers, and just put it in a soft shell, and you got some amazing duck tortillas. Just watch out for the BBs because those hurt. Any snow goose recipes? Actually, I've never snow goose hunted, so I do not have any questions for that, or I don't have any recipes for that, which kind of got my mind going up ahead of me. So anyways, guys, I got a question for you guys. Also, I've been told I say guys too much by my wife and other people, so I'm going to try not to say that. So folks, ever ate snow goose? I have not either. I assume it tastes probably better than Canadian goose, but I'm not sure. I've heard like speckled belly goose is good, and I assume it's pretty similar to that, though that's just a guess. But my question for you guys is, who would you guys like to see me get on as a guest? Anybody in the waterfowl industry. So far I've just had YouTubers, but I think that I want to branch out and start asking other people. I mean, maybe even other bigger YouTubers that I haven't got to. Or just anybody that you guys might think of in the industry. So if you guys got any ideas, go ahead and put that in the chat. Not saying that I can get them. Like if someone puts like Tony Vandermoor, there's like no way that he's gonna, look at my stuff and be like, yeah, I'll come on and show. I mean, maybe, but doubtful. So I'll try anybody you guys ask, but I'm not sure it's gonna happen. And then, while we're at it, any topics that you guys might like to see in the future. So far, we've covered a few on the podcast. Kill 'em Outdoors. Okay. Kill 'em Outdoors host. What do you mean by host, Peter? I can definitely get in contact with Kill 'em Outdoors and see if I can get them on here. I definitely know that channel. And pretty cool guys. Seems like pretty cool guys on there. Outdoor Limits from Brad. Okay. I'll try to get in contact with Outdoor Limits as well. Outdoor Limits. Kill 'em Outdoors. Would you guys like to see repeats of anybody else? Oh, I know. It's Clint. I think Kill 'em Outdoors, the main guy's name is Clint, the guy who runs this channel. Oh, okay, you're saying the host of Kill 'em Outdoors. Yeah, it's Clint. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha, Peter. Would you guys like me to get any repeats of who we've had so far? I've liked all the guys we've had, so I wouldn't mind. And I do plan in the future to ask them again. Hey, okay, Bobby Film Guy. Brad, I actually had freelance on 2 weeks ago, and that was the river one. So if you're interested in seeing that, just hop onto my channel, go check it out. Red Roof and Brad, I saw you guys were talking about the indie show, the boat show. I'll actually be there with HTR Innovations working a booth. So it'd be awesome if you guys swing by there and say, hey. If you guys are gonna, I think you guys said you're gonna be there as well. Yeah, Virginia Outdoors was great too, Peter. That was a fun one. Contact the guys at Marshmutt. They're Indiana waterfowl retailers. Marshmutt. Where are they out of, Red Roof? Let's see, what other questions did I have for you? What days will you? I'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Pretty much the whole time, unless I'm stepped away from the booth. But plan to be there the whole time. What up, R. Jones? I don't think I'll be accepting your request to join the live stream. Sorry. Anybody on Instagram, feel free to jump over to the YouTube. That's where we got the main stuff going on. What days will you be there, Brad? What days will you be there, Red Roof? It'd be awesome to meet you guys. Meet some YouTube guys. Fortville, Indiana. Never heard of it. Marshmutts. It sounds familiar. Were they like a sponsor of like Fouled Reality or anything? What's up, freelance? I'm my own guest tonight. Unfortunately, my guest for tonight went MIA, and I wasn't able to contact him. So just doing it solo tonight, flying solo. I will try to get Louisiana Wetlands rescheduled for the future if he's still down for it. So hopefully that happens. I know a lot of people are excited to see him. So what camera do you use, Jordan? That's from Jake from Florida. I don't know why I said it so weird. My main camera is the Panasonic G7. Use that for like interviews and B-roll, unless it's like wet or I think it might get ruined from water of some sort. And besides that, I use 2 off-brand GoPros, but I plan to upgrade to the Hero 5 for next season. And I use my iPhone 7 Plus, and it works pretty good as well. Nice. Yeah, I know he was. It was Louisiana wetlands, and I contacted him probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I hadn't talked to him till this week, so I sent him email and an Instagram message. But I know that he was planning to be on our conservation hunt, so I don't know. Maybe they didn't have internet or something like that. Who knows? So we'll try to get in contact with him again for the future. Marshmallows. Any other requests for guests on the show, guys, for the future? They're asking for you again, Elliot. So we might have to make it happen. Wow, dyslexic spelling right there. Gotcha. Well, if you guys are going to be in Indy at the show next week, Brad and Red Roof, I think our booth is 165 across from the concessions. So yeah. That's who we're talking about, Hunter. He was actually supposed to be on here tonight, but it didn't happen, so try to reschedule him for the future, hopefully. Awesome. Awesome, yeah. Sounds anytime. Would love to have you back on, Freelance. Yeah, Red Roof in the Deer Turkey Waterfowl Expo. I think it's booth 165, and I'll be there with HTR Innovations. Jake wants Fumble Mitts on or Danny Boy. Iowa Plainsman Outdoors. And yeah, I know who that channel is too. Fumble Mitts. Yeah, it would. I think Fumble Mitts would make a great interview, and maybe we can get some good old stories about Elliot's childhood. Thanks, Luke. Thanks for joining us, man. Joe Rogan, HTR Innovation says I should get Joe Rogan. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Danny Boy's desire to hunt is fading. I can't even fathom that, so it's hard to think of a solution. What's up, Somewhere Wisconsin? Glad to have you back. All right, so I wonder if you can do a pull on here. Nope. I thought you could do a pull on here. Maybe not. Maybe Elliot. Do you know if you can do a pull on the event? Oh well. I could just make my own pool. Pool. Not pool, pool. Just hold on, guys. I'm going to make a poll real quick. Got a question for you guys. Got to correct all the grammar since we got elementary teachers in the chat. All right, got a poll for you guys. So this is the first time I've gone solo, and wasn't planning to do it, but since I didn't have my guest, I went solo. So congrats, Red Roof. 400's a good milestone. Yep, just keep at it. Get towards that 1,000. So anyways, what I was saying, guys, so I sent you guys a straw poll. If you guys can go click on that and cast your vote. Question is, if I don't have a guest, should I go solo or should I just cancel the podcast on nights where I have a guest wig out on me? All right, Peter. As far as channel names go, I'd make it something at least searchable, just to help you out getting those subscribers, or something catchy, you know, something that people will like the name. So those are catchy somewhat, but yeah, I'm not too sure if I'd go with those. Nice. Homemade Texas rigs from somewhere in Wisconsin. Sounds like a good way to go. All right, so we got resounding yeses. That's what I like to see, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, I kind of agree with Freelance on the Assassins type name. I'm sure he's got reasons as well, but I don't. What's the right way to say it? You know, you just want to have. I think for the name, I guess like as YouTubers, we're kind of stewards of this community in a way. And what kind of face do you want to have for that community? Do you want to be known as Assassins? And I think in the current climate of our society, we don't necessarily want duck hunters known as assassins per se. You know, so along those lines, I guess I agree with them on that. Hey, what's up, Dan? Thanks, man. What's up, guys? What's up, Smiles Huey? Durant? What up, Flooded Timber Hunter? What up, Fred? Thanks for joining us, guys. If you guys are on the Instagram, we're on YouTube Live as well. So if you guys want to head over there, that's where we got most of the content going on. All right, Red Roof. My day job is I'm actually I work at a biomedical engineering company, and I design custom surgical instrumentation for specifically for knee surgeries. So yeah, I'm on a computer all day. I actually have 3 screens at work, and I got 2 screens right here in front of me at home. So I guess I'm a little bit, I would consider myself somewhat tech savvy. Pistol Pete's waterfowl. That sounds good. If you guys tuned in late, you know, I talked about my whole story of how I got started in waterfowling. So yeah, it's on the front end of this podcast live stream. You guys got any more suggestions for topics in the future? You can be even more specific and say topics along with what guest you'd like me to have on. I may or may not do it, but, you know, always looking for ideas that you guys would be interested in. Okay, I saw that earlier. Sorry, Brad. Favorite decoy brand? I guess I don't have a favorite decoy brand. All my decoys currently are just like pretty much garage sale decoys, and we talked about that last episode. How to be a budget hunter with somewhere in Wisconsin, and yeah, I do like some of those good decoys, and especially the hardcore ones they just introduced look pretty cool. But as far as what I use right now, I just go with the budget stuff, and it gets the job done. DIY waterfowl projects. Okay. Decoy brands, calls, guns you use or prefer. I have not tried to reach out to Outdoor Limits, but I will put that on there. Camo blinds. Let's see. Decoy brands. Decoy brands probably won't be my strong suit. I'd have to get a guest on that is more knowledgeable about decoy brands to get that information to you guys, because by myself I'm not going to have the knowledge for that. Calls, guns, AVNX. Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about AVNX. Just expensive. Flare. Flare. Okay. I will get in contact with Flare. But just actually I've already been. I'll break it to you guys now. I'm actually already in contact with Flare, and he has agreed to come on the podcast. So I don't have a set date yet, but it might be Monday or Tuesday next week. So that'd be pretty cool to have Flare on here. Hoping it pans out, because I'm sure he's got some interesting stuff to talk about with his Ducks waterfowl company and yeah, all his fishing background and stuff. Yeah, filming stuff, that'd be a good topic. Cameras, mics, how you guys would be. Yeah, and I think a lot of people would be interested in the filming stuff somewhere in Wisconsin, because I feel like a large majority of the people we have out here, they are creators themselves on YouTube. A lot of people we have in these chats and stuff. So maybe they'll like a creator's perspective on how to do that. Bigfoots, yeah, I've used those for geese as well. Dan, GHG. Peter, I'm sure that's an acronym for something. I probably should know it. GHG. Is that a company? Or is that an acronym, like a text message acronym? Are any of you guys Ducks Pro staff? Good question. Yeah, actually I am Ducks Pro staff, and I haven't put out a video on it at all yet, but plan to in the future, and that's part of how I've part of what I was going to talk about when I had Flare on here. Yeah, I think Ducks has reached out to some of the YouTubers as well. Can you talk about why you made that decision? Let's see. Where to start with that? Just I guess going with that decision. They're duck hunters as well, and I'm doing. But yeah, I did have some things I was concerned about with that, but I'm just hoping that they put a good face forward with duck hunting and that they bring more people to the YouTube platform for duck hunting. But yeah, I'll say the one thing that I'm not a fan of is if you shoot a duck, every time you shoot a duck, you hoot and holler. That's not my favorite thing, because I don't do that. Maybe a stream strictly on thumbnails like related to YouTube channel. Will you turkey? I will turkey hunt. I'm not sure about the thumbnails thing. I could. I guess I could. I've learned that from some other YouTube channels. Thumbnails. So promote my own brand. So I guess like for me, as far as promoting my own brand, I thought about that was one of my concerns when I, whatever you call it, pro staff with them. But it's not like I signed any contracts. It's not like I'm locked down to anything. Pretty much they're like, hey, we'll give you some ducks gear, and so they sent over a box of ducks gear, and I'm not required to do anything. I'm not locked down in any way, so it's pretty much as much or as little as I want to do with duck stuff. And yeah, and in the future when I'm a bigger channel, which I'm not right now, I don't think anybody's going to buy any gear that I promote, and I don't think that's the way that I'm going to go about making a living on it. And I mean, maybe that will be some part of the supplemental plan in the future, but as far as right now, it didn't hurt me to do it. And if I want to go and promote my own brand in the future, I'm free to do that, and no strings attached to ducks in the future. Dog training. Yeah, I do have some plans to train my dog over the summer. I'm not an expert on it, but I could definitely share with you guys what I've learned from doing that. What's up, Montana? Green headgear. Sorry, I've been neglecting the Instagram questions. I'm not used to having that as well. Well, thanks, Peter. I appreciate it. I mean, if people would, be into duck gun stuff in the future, maybe that will be a plan. I just don't think that, you have to have a good amount of money to start buying hats to sell and your gear. And I just don't have extra money to start producing gear to promote my own brand. So, like I said, maybe in the future, if I start making an income from like AdSense or something like that, I can put it towards that. But for now, just trying to help out the whole waterfowl community on YouTube grow, and hopefully we can all grow together, and it can be a good thing for everybody. FDH does have cool gear. What I do for a living, Jake, I design custom surgical instrumentation for a biomedical engineering company, specifically knee surgeries. Yeah, I'm not gonna push. If you're talking about like the promoting your own brand, I'm not gonna push that. Just right now, for me or for anybody else, honestly. You guys had so many questions coming in there so quick, I probably missed some stuff. Hopefully not. Yeah, pretty interesting. I mean, it's still just an office job. I sit in a cubicle, and I can't wait to get outdoors and you know, get outside and enjoy life. Just like any other job, you know. So freelance, since you're asking that question, what are your thoughts on it? I'm just curious. Am I coming to Wisconsin next fall? I don't know what my plans are for next fall. I barely know what I'm gonna do next week. So we'll see. Time will tell. I do definitely think it'd be interesting to have an out-of-state hunt collaboration of some sort. Maybe we'll have to have a conversation sometime, freelance. I'd be very curious what your thoughts are on that. What up, Michael? Getting on those walleyes again. Yeah, duck slow is cool. And their last couple videos they put out were actually were very well produced as well. I like that the style on that opposed to some of the hooping and hollering and 8-man, but you know. The question for you, freelance. Pretty much, I wanted to know what your thoughts were on the pro staff for ducks and stuff. Since you're asking that question, where you fall in that category, what you think about that kind of stuff. I know that you've said in the past that you weren't a fan of pro staff in general, including like having a pro staff for yourself. So I was just curious what your thoughts were on that. I know it's probably hard to answer that question typing, unfortunately. So. Who owns ducks? As far as I know, Flair and Bobby, and they do have financial backing of some sort, I'm sure. What's up, Luke? First time Sally in the chat tonight. But hopefully, that'd be a good question for Flair if I can get him on here on the podcast. But yeah. I think Outdoor Limits is a pro staff for them as well. Again, guys, GGC. I've actually never seen anyone say DGC. Thanks, Luke. Yeah, I agree with you, Peter. There's definitely more about the tradition and passion of the sport than selling things. Okay, so talk about the Wick Wings. I actually think I want to do a review on it again since I've used it for the full season. I literally used it the whole season from start to finish, early till the last duck hunt of the season. And let's see, I had problems with it dove season with 2 3/4 super light load, it would jam, and yeah, so it's supposed to be able to shoot 2 3/4, but it another thing I heard is you gotta cycle like 500 rounds before it can be able to cycle to 2 3/4. So I'm not sure what goes into that, but yeah. So any problems I've had with it, when I dropped in the water, it would freeze up. I think that might happen with most guns. And then I did have some problem when it gets super cold that it'd freeze up. Besides that, I didn't really have any problems. I love the gun. It's great. Definitely need to clean it. I think that might be why it was freezing up. Nice red roof. How far do I travel to hunt? I don't travel that far at all. Less, probably the furthest place I hunt is about an hour away. Yeah, furthest place I hunt is an hour away. I would like to expand my range next year, so hopefully we'll get on that. Okay, Peter. Yeah, I can probably make that a plan for in the spring, doing the pattern test. I actually did try to take a take on it at one point, but yeah, I'll have to remake that video because it never came to. I never completed it. Put it that way. So you have a Wicked Wings as well, Luke. Any problems for you? You like it as well? Yeah, yeah, I understand why they push the product. Um, Somewhere in Wisconsin. I know what you mean on that. What was that? Heard a little noise. Oh well. Um, yeah, I guess I understand what you're saying with that, freelance. I'm not. I'm not a fan of the term spray and pray. That's for sure. Um, More of a fan of ethical shots. I do like to put a good pile together, but it's definitely not all about that for sure. Hey man, don't be a bad mouthing Indy, Brad. We got some good hunting spots. Awesome, Luke. If I'm ever in Oklahoma, I've heard Oklahoma's awesome for waterfowl. I'll send you a message your way. Take you up on that. It kicks like a mule. Yeah, it does kick hard, but I feel like any gun with the 3.5s kicks pretty hard. So I honestly shoot the 3 inches on ducks all the time, just for that reason mostly. The river is a grind. Actually, I get limits on the river, man. Well, I guess I don't want. Yeah, I think you said it earlier. Which river? I've never really been down to southern Indiana for hunting, or central Indiana for that matter. I think that's where you said you're at. Um, but I mean, you just got to find some little sweet spots that no one else gets to, and you might be rolling in them. Yeah, I'd love to freelance, roll through Kansas. It seems like you guys have some sweet hunts from early till all the way to late season. You guys are getting on some sweet pools, and you get on the prairie marshes for the teal, get those sweet pools for the mallard limits, and then you got the froze up river for awesome geese hunting. So you guys don't have like a lull at all for bad hunting, it seems like. Yeah, I agree. Indiana is not like the go-to place for duck hunting, but I think you could still find them because, I mean, yeah, it's no Kansas, but you just got to work with what you got, I guess. We live here, and that's all we just got to do the best with what we can. It's no Arkansas, it's no Kansas, it's no California. Apparently, California is just amazing. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm not saying guys. All right, folks. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. And, it's been a blast, per usual. And I don't have a set guest for next week, but I won't be going live next Friday because I'll be at the show in Indy, the Turkey, Deer, Waterfowl Expo in Indy from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you guys are in the area, make sure to swing by. I'll be at the HCR Innovations booth with those guys. And, say hi. Be glad to meet some guys from YouTube. And anyways, guys, so we'll be going live again either Monday or Tuesday with a guest or without. I'll probably try to get a guest because the solo ones seem to be a little bit harder to keep the flow going. And but I appreciate you guys being in here. See you at the show, Brad. See you, Red Roof at the show, hopefully. And we'll see you guys next time.